Now in today's video, we're going to be running through my first draft ahead of UCL Fantasy for the upcoming season. We're of course going to discuss my chip strategy, which you can see on screen right now. We're also going to be talking about the best fixtures to be targeting and just generally running through my draft for game week 1. And I'm really looking forward to of course be presenting fantasy content back on the channel. I know a lot of you did enjoy it last season. I'm really looking forward to doing it again. There will be a deadline stream next Thursday as well. We'll probably be live for like three and a half hours. So make sure, of course, if you do want to get like your team rated or ask me any questions, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button with bell notifications on as well, as we are trying to hit 18,000 subscribers on the channel. But let's talk through my chip strategy first, because I do feel that is probably the most important thing to understand before, of course, taking a look at my draft, because it does give it a lot of context and makes it kind of obviously understandable, I would say. So my plan for this this season, sorry, is going to be, of course, the same as last season. It is going to be to use our chips straight away within the group stage. That is the best time to play it. That is where you're going to get some real kind of mishmash kind of matchups. That's the best point where I think you're going to get the most out of Limitless and, of course, the most out of the wildcard chip. Targeting those fixtures, like I said, where there are going to be big discrepancies, especially in terms of the pricing you can see from the bookmakers as well. That, for me, is where, of course, I want to be, trying to have the best players for every single week. So using my Limitless and wildcard makes complete sense. We are going to be using the Limitless chip in Matchday 2. We're going to be targeting Real Madrid, Man City, Bayern, Inter and Arsenal for that week. Obviously, a lot of those squads have quite a lot of pricey players, I would say. Obviously, Real Madrid, you have Vinicius, and of course, you have Kylian Mbappe. They already take a big chunk of the budget. Bayern, we're probably going to be looking at a triple up in terms of attack with them against Paphos, so Kane, Elise, and probably Luis Diaz as well, who's had a great start to his Bayern career. Inter as well have obviously, Lautaro Martinez. They've got quite a few pricey options. Arsenal, I think we're probably going to be looking at maybe like a triple up in terms of defence, like a Gabriel, a Raya, maybe potentially Declan Rice within the midfield, maybe a different, obviously, option there. That's kind of where we're at with a Limitless 2 as well. And what it allows me to do is offload Barca and PSG. So as you'll see in a few seconds, I have actually gone quite heavy into Barca and PSG. I think, they've got some good fixtures in 1 and beyond, but for game week 2, they face off against each other, and I would rather avoid that. And like I said, kind of, get some better teams in with some real big one-sided fixtures where you could see some absolutely massive scores as well. Then the plan is going to be to wildcard in either Matchday 5 or Matchday 6. I'm not really decided where I'm going to play that chip yet. I think, it'll probably be a period where either the team absolutely needs it, we've been riddled by injuries, or it'll be a period where I go, yep, that team's got a lot to play for. That team hasn't got as much to play for, because again, that is going to have a big kind of factor on certain rotation for a lot of teams as well. So I think it just gives us that kind of, little bit of flexibility within the side. And as I put down the bottom, ideal for differentials and of course surprise picks, because there will be just a few standout players as well this season within the Champions League that right now we might not even be thinking about, and obviously come game week 5 or game week 6 they might of course be heading into some even better fixtures, and we might want to of course jump on them. So that is my chip strategy. I hope that makes sense, and I hope it gives a little bit more context to the draft I am going to showcase in today's video. So the first plan, like I said, is going to be obviously looking for fixtures between 1, 3 and 4, because obviously we're going to be limitless in 2. So with that in mind, let's go and take a look at some fixtures. This, of course, is from my good friend Tom Hadley over on Twitter. Make sure you're going and following him. He posts about literally any game you can think of, Premier League, UCL as well. He's put together this really useful, obviously, tool with the best fixtures and, of course, the worst fixtures for the opening 4, which is absolutely ideal for what we're really looking for, especially if we're going to wildcard in game week 5. All we need to know is Matchday 1, Matchday 3 and Matchday 4 for our wildcard. As you can see, Inter pretty good across the board. Even with a great fixture in 2, I'm still going to be loading up on them as a side with great fixtures in 1, 3 and 4. Same goes with Tottenham as well. Probably their best fixture against Bodø Glimt is in 2, but still good fixtures in 1, 3 and 4. So again, worth some investment. Real Madrid, I'm going to start with 2 Real Madrid players. I think maybe even 1 it might be. I want the Marseille fixture. I think that is going to be a green. Like Mbappe looking like a great captaincy option for that one. We're going to limitless in 2. Juve's still not even a bad fixture for Mbappe, but we will have that possibility to potentially move him out, maybe for somebody like a Napoli player with PSV. and Frankfurt in match day 3, match day 4 for them. We could also maybe look at an Atalanta player. So there's lots of obviously possibilities that, of course, we could look at for that period. Maybe if obviously Lewandowski's starting games, I don't really know kind of what the situation or the deal was with him this season, but match day 3 and match day 4, again, looking pretty juicy for Barcelona as well. Some other teams, of course, we are going to be targeting with this strategy then is we are going to be looking at, who are the other teams we're going to be looking at? Barcelona, like I said, I don't think the Newcastle fixture is that difficult. I just think Newcastle are going to be probably outclassed at this level. I know most people say that St. James's Park is a fortress. It's one of those hard places to go. I just don't buy it with the Champions League. I think Barca are going to come here, absolutely destroy them. Of course, you don't have to worry about game week 2. Game week 3 and game week 4 are looking pretty delicious for them as a side as well. We're also going to be looking at some Benfica players with a great fixture in match day 1. Real big favourites for that one. Sporting as well with a great fixture in 1 and 3 as well. We, of course, going to be looking to target them as well. Obviously, they're against the worst opponent in game week 1, and I feel like a lot of people probably won't even have any Sporting players, so I want to take full advantage of that early part of this season. That, of course, was the fixtures and the chip strategy for this season. Now let's head in to my first draft for UCL Fantasy. Okay, wasting no time, let's dive into the draft then. First off, let's start off with our goalkeeper pairing. It is going to be Vicario and Garcia from Barcelona, coming in at 5 million and 4.5 million respectively. These guys have some great fixtures, like I said, that we definitely can target over those opening 4 games in match day 1, match day 3 and match day 4. Both feel like pretty good pickups as well. Feel pretty reasonable for their price, so I'm very, very happy to have both of these goalkeepers. And of course, the most important thing is they do play on different days in match day 1, 3 and 4 as well, meaning that of course we can rotate, drop one in, drop one out, of course, if they don't do well or do well. So yeah, that is the goalkeeper selection for our match day 1 draft. Heading into the back line then, we've gone for the double into defense. Like I said, they've got the best fixtures over the opening 4, even with us activating the limitless chip in that game week. I'm still feeling pretty confident about their fixtures in 3 and 4 as well. So I'm happy to have Denzel Dumfries, who was an absolute cheat code at the back end of last season as well. He was honestly just one of those players that was an absolute beast that you had to have within your side realistically. He was just honestly unreal, especially that game against Barcelona. Phenomenal. Bastoni as well, not too bad for ball recoveries. Like I said, though, we're hoping that Inter will be able to keep quite a few clean sheets during that period as well. Hakimi's in there as well. Like I said, we obviously rotate around PSG's arguably most difficult fixture in game week 4. Again, he is just an absolute beast, and pricing this guy at 6 million just feels like he's just broken, isn't he? You saw what he did last season, just absolutely ripped it apart in terms of this game. Like, honestly, the guy is an absolute joke. He is going to pick up many attacking returns this season. We get him for Atalanta fixture. We get him for the match day 3 fixture as well, which is pretty decent for PSG. We, of course, miss out that Barcelona game as well. So it does feel just like an ideal player to, of course, have within our side. Pedro Porro, we're going for that double up in terms of Spurs defence. I think they're going to be a lot more of a better defensive unit, and we've already seen that within the Premier League under Thomas Frank. Like I said, their fixtures over that opening 4 just feel like a pretty good investable kind of period. Porro might see, of course, some reduced kind of set piece routines with Xavi Simons joining the club, but I think for the early parts of this season, he's still going to be a pretty decent pickup at 5 million. Next up is going to be Flamingo. Honestly, guys, I know absolutely nothing about who this guy is, but I really like the PSV fixture in match day 1 and match day 4. Not ideal in match day 3 against Napoli. However, I do think, the clean sheet percentages are definitely going to be on their sides in match day 1 and match day 4. And for 4.5 million, he could potentially be worth a punt. Was pretty decent for ball recoveries last season. 45 points picked up for him last campaign. So overall, I am feeling pretty good about him as a potential option. Of course, we maybe could drop him down to like an Anton, get the Dortmund defender for 4 million, give us an extra 0.5 to potentially play with as well, and just leave it in the bank if we wanted to go down that route. Let's head into my midfield then. Let's start off first with the double Barca attack. Like I said, I really, really want to target Barcelona. I think their fixtures, if of course you can avoid the game week 2, are definitely investable. Newcastle away, like, it doesn't scare me, to be honest. I think Barca will still rock up and absolutely destroy them. Game week 3 and game week 4, plenty plenty of captaincy option, of course, against Olympiacos in match day 3. I'm really excited to have Rafinha, who was one of the best players to have in last season's games. And Yamal, with now, of course, Lewandowski being benched for some of the opening games, looks like he could be the penalty taker as well for this Barcelona side. So I want to have both options, of course, covered with picking both of these Barca players. Now, I've gone for Kvaratskhelia, but he is very much an optional pick. There might be potentially some kind of rejigging going around with my forwards and Kvaratskhelia. His minutes have been pretty dicey at the start of this campaign, so I'm not feeling too optimistic about them. Of course, I'm going to wait and see if he does actually play at the weekend before deciding what I actually want to do with him. But with Ousmane Dembele out, I do want, of course, to have some PSG coverage, so it might be a case of we might move to Barcola, or potentially Desiree Doué as well could also be another flavour that we do go for. Çalhanoğlu, again, another player whose minutes do seem a little bit dicey, but with him being the free kick, corner taker, and of course penalty taker for this Inter Milan side, with some great fixtures, like I said, match day 1, match day 3, and match day 4, which we are going to be targeting, he feels like he could be a little bit of a broken cheat code at 7 million and could tick along very, very nicely with some great fixtures. I always like to have penalty takers, and Çalhanoğlu definitely fits that profile that, of course, I want to be targeting with my side. Finally, it is going to be Timo Reinders. Yeah, I think City's injuries are just piling up. Marmoush has picked up an injury today. Gundogan has left the club. Looks like Ryan Cherky is going to be out for 2 months as well. So I think Reinders is just probably going to be a pretty nailed player within the City side. So I think to get a City attacker for 6.5 doesn't feel bad value. They've got some good fixtures. Obviously against Napoli, they're actually heavy favourites according to the bookmakers already in the early parts of this season. So I'm really impressed with that. And I definitely want to have a slice of that pie. So we have gone for Reinders. Let's take a look then at my free forwards. And it's probably not what you were expecting. We've gone for Kylian Mbappe. Like I said, I think he's going to be one of the best captaincy options in game week 1. As you can see, with that Marseille fixture there. Game week 2, we are obviously going to be playing the Limitless chip. Game week 3, I don't mind. It's a home fixture against Juve. I think he'll still do pretty well in that one anyway. Moving on to Pavlidis then. Obviously, the best fixture is going to be in match day 1 with the Karabag fixture. Game week 2, of course, he won't be in the side, so I won't have to get against Chelsea away. By that point, we'll have a good understanding of what Newcastle and Leverkusen, of course, look like. And I can either, maybe potentially switch him out. We've got the best fixture out of him. Look to make that future transfer in game week 3, or if Newcastle and Leverkusen are looking a little bit shaky in the opening few weeks of the Champions League and of course in their kind of league position and season, then I definitely think we could of course keep him within the side. He's a penalty taker again, probably going to play decent minutes as well at the start of this Champions League campaign, so I'm feeling pretty confident about him as a pick. And then finally, it is going to be Luis Suarez. We'll speak about the sporting fixtures because I do think match day 1 and match day 3 are great for him. Coming in at 5 million as well, he is just going to be a very, very cheap player that, of course, we're going to have lots of flexibility with. Maybe come game week 4, of course, we can drop one of our midfielders down and look to potentially upgrade him to a more prolific forward for game week 4. Or, of course, we could just keep him and, if he's looking decent, he is going to be a penalty taker. His minutes have seemed very, very good and has a pretty decent start to his season 4 Sporting, then I don't mind it. But it is, of course, about this game week 1 fixture that I feel is probably going to be his big, obviously, chance to haul. If he doesn't haul, we do get left with egg on our face. But if he does haul, my oh my, at 1% owned, he could be a very, very nice differential. That, of course, is my match day 1 first draft. Let me know what you think of it down in the comment section. Like I said, we'll have a team selection video up before the game does go live. And, of course, I will be live for the deadline as well. So make sure you are hitting that subscribe button and following for more FPL and UCL content.